practical tools, body, mind, and spirit in 5 minutes or less. This is going to be a new series that I'm going to be doing on a regular basis. So, number one today is tension, physical tension. I want you to notice that there is no such thing as emotional tension without a corresponding physical tension in your body. And so sometimes people say, "Oh, just let it go or drop it or all this," and you say, and it and it might even piss you off even more to hear that. But today I want to review a practical tool for really letting go of physical tension. And when you let go of the physical tension that is associated with the emotional tension or the emotional suffering, then you will also feel more clear and more relaxed and more open and more released on an emotional level. So what do I mean by that? Is if you ask yourself this question of, if you say you're pissed off or you're afraid or you're feeling sad, and just say to yourself, where do I notice it in my body? Right away, you're going to shift your brain state. You're going to shift your awareness from paying attention to the reasons why you're upset to paying attention to something that's going on in your actual body. This whole idea that the mind and the emotions are disembodied, are separate from the body, is absolutely ridiculous. They're completely contiguous. One, the mind, the emotions are embodied. They are neurology, they are biology, they are chemistry, they are blood pressure, they are muscle tension. And there are things that we can do with our body that will release those emotional sufferings in a way that is far more effective than trying to think about it or figure it out or gain insight about it. Because when you are talking about emotional suffering, you're talking about stuff that is happening in this deeper part of the brain. When you're talking about intellectual understanding, you're talking about something that is happening up here in this part of the brain. And the two don't necessarily, figuring it out up here does nothing to change what's going on down here. So if we really want to let go or feel relief from our emotional suffering, then we need to actually work where the problem's at. And the best way to work where the problem is at is by working with our embodiment and with our breath. And when you combine the two together, you have the 1-2 punch. So what are we going to do? We're going to say, oh, I'm really angry. Okay, where do I notice in my body? Oh, right away, I'm going to notice that I have this tension in my chest and in my belly. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to exaggerate the attention, because that is going to really, really help me get out of my head and get into my body. And then I'm going to exaggerate it by literally tensing it up. Ready? It looks like this. I'm going to breathe in, and then I'm going to squeeze. And then when I exhale, I'm going to use now my mind, and I'm going to use the exhale and the releasing of the physical tension to also imagine that the tension is now dripping out of my hands, out of my feet, releasing from the place where it was once tense. And I'm going to do it again. This might seem a little bit ridiculous, but it really works. And if you have the fortune to be around a baby, check them out, because they do this. Have you ever seen how quickly babies change state? They can be screaming and crying and really upset and laughing and giggling the next moment. That's because they really, really fully experience things and then release them. And we tend to kind of be halfway about it and then hold on to it for a long, long time. So if you can't notice, I'm actually working here. I'm actually breathing a little bit hard from doing this. So again, and then, so the next time someone tells you to let it go or just relax or take it easy, just know that that's actually really hard to do unless you kind of really do something really very powerfully visceral like this. This is a lesson in 5 minutes or less. It'll take you less than a minute to do it, especially the more you practice it and get good at it. There's no emotional tension without physical tension. If you release the physical tension, your emotions will clear up. You will feel better. Gotta go. Under 5. Love you all. Have a great day.